Hi guys, welcome to Miranda Heart to Heart YouTube channel. One day when I was a clinical instructor teaching at a clinical site, one of the employees there had acquired a foot injury. So her and I were talking and she was just kind of conversing with me, a little bit of a concern of whether or not the job was going to work with her in regards to her allowing her some time off from work because she wasn't able to get around as easily like she was before. It was a long-term care setting, so those of you that work in healthcare, you know that in a long-term care setting, if you're a nurse, you got to be able to move quickly to respond to those patients. And so her and I were discussing back and forth, and so I had asked her what was she going to do financially, or was she okay if the job decided to let her go. And so she responded, everything has a shelf life. And I said, you know what? You are absolutely right about that. And she was just telling me that if it didn't work out, that she was okay either way. She just felt like that it wouldn't be fair to her if they didn't work with her. But she said that she was going to be okay either way. So my point in saying all this is when she mentioned everything has a shelf life, that has stuck with me ever since she mentioned that to me. And it's not that I didn't already know that, but it just really stuck with me the way she said it. Everything has a shelf life, whether it comes to your job, your employment, friends, sometimes even family members, relationships. Everything has a shelf life, and you need to know when to remove expired products. In Tyler Perry's one of his plays where he talks about seasons and people coming into your life for a season, I love that part, especially when he correlates it to people being like a tree. And when he talks about you have the people that are like leaves, they sway from one direction to the next, and you can't rely on them. And then you have those people that are like branches that, you know, they're there to help you, but you can't stand out there with them too long because they might fall off and leave you hanging. But those that are like the roots, those are the ones that you have to hold on to. And that's a very good, powerful message of knowing when to let expired products go, knowing who you have in your circle, and knowing when to let things go. And so when it comes to jobs, if you're one of those employees that find yourself in a position that every day you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you do not have any gratification for your job, you don't look forward to going to your job. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to know where you stand in this position, because if you're one of those people that just have a negative mindset and you go to work each day with a negative thought process, and you go from one job to the next with a negative thought process about the job, then this doesn't necessarily apply to you. And don't take this the wrong way. I'm not judging you. However, this doesn't apply to you. But if you have been at your job for X amount of years, and you have gotten to a place where that job no longer serves your purpose, you no longer feel fulfilled in that job, or you're working that job because it pays the bills, but it's not meeting your personal purpose or your growth or what you desire to do, then you have to reevaluate that job. And for those of you that are entrepreneurs or interested in becoming an entrepreneur or would like to continue to further grow your business, you have to do an analysis of whether or not that job is really appropriate for you. Sometimes you got to step out on faith, and remembering that the will of God will not take you where His grace will not protect you. And so there are times with jobs that we stay because we get comfortable, we get complacent, out of fear, we don't want to lose that job. The benefits might be great. However, when I was doing my best friend's bridal shower, the photographer there, he does photography and he also had a full-time job. Well, here recently, when he was doing the bridal shower, he had just recently lost his full-time job. And so what he was noticing though is that as he was losing his job, his clientele was picking up. And so he was beginning to be in a position where he had to make a decision of whether or not he wanted to continue to with his photography to the extent that he would like, or continue with his job, which would take more of his time, and he would have to decipher between the two. And the one thing I like about life, not just life, but God and the universe, how if you follow the waves of life, it'll swing you in a direction that you need to go. When situations no longer serve their purpose, if you step out on faith, it will swing you in a direction that you need to go. Sometimes we oftentimes want to fight and resist it, when really you need to spend time just going along with it. Hello? We sometimes want to fight and resist it, but you need to spend more time just going along with it. Go along with the process. Again, the will of God will not take you where his grace will not protect you. So if you're in a position where you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to continue to grow your business, you have to really evaluate the current position that you're in sometimes to really get connected with whether or not that job is helping you get to that point, or if that job is preventing you from moving forward. Knowing where you're at in your cycle of life. When it's time to move to the next level in life, God and the universe will make you become uncomfortable. What was once comfortable will no longer feel comfortable. You will become uncomfortable. You will get tired of what you're doing. So knowing where you're at. When it comes to friends and family, excuse me guys, you have to know when to remove expired products with the job. You have to know when to remove expired products with friends. Good friends will encourage you. They will motivate you, and you will encourage each other and motivate each other. You will inspire each other to move up. But as you move up different levels of life, you will realize and recognize that there are some people that you will not be able to take with you. There are some people that you got to leave behind you because they're not willing and ready to go to the next step. And it's not for you to try to force them. It's for you to keep doing what it is that you are purposed and designed for and mission for. It's not for you to stay stuck and stagnant just because they choose to. If they want to stay where they're at, you allow them to stay where they're at, if that's what they choose to do. If they don't take that push, that encouragement, that inspiration, that motivation that you may provide for them, then it's not for you to stay where they're at or can try and continue to pull them up, because then it'll turn around and pull you back when you need to continue to go forward. You have to know when to let go of expired products. People and situations are those products. So when it comes to friends and family, there are family members that just pull from you. And where you got to remember, you can't pull from an empty vessel. You have to pour from a cup that's full. So if they are pulling from you too much, you have to know when to stop and let go. It's okay to love people from a distance. It's okay to love people from afar. Sometimes they will show a greater appreciation to what you bring to the table and the value that you have when you do that. Because sometimes the more you give, the more they take, and they don't appreciate what you are giving them, even if it's coming from a cup that is beginning to become empty, because they're depleting you of your resources. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you need more information about that, check out that video. That was a really good video. But you have to know when to sometimes either let go of expired products or push some products to the side. You can't be as close to them. Knowing where you're at with people and situations. When it comes to relationships, if you're holding on to something that's toxic, or even if it's not toxic, it just doesn't feel right anymore. What was comfortable to you is no longer comfortable anymore. What was pleasurable is no longer pleasurable anymore. You have to know when to let go of expired products, expired people. People come into our lives for a season. I strongly believe that. And you have to know that sometimes they come into your life to fill a need at that moment. But once that need has been met, it's time for you to move forward to the next one. And maybe their part of your life and that part of your season is expired. And I'm a Taurus, so us fellow Taurians, we can be some very loyal people. We can be some very loving people. We can also become very comfortable and complacent with what we have and where we're at, not allowing ourselves to be enlightened and enriched with something new. And you have to know, again, when to let go of expired products. Everything has a shelf life, and everything on the shelf is not meant to stay. There are some people and situations and circumstances that are meant to be there and help continue to take you up that ladder. But then there's other people, situations, circumstances that, hey, you got to do it from afar, or you got to completely just break it off because they have met that purpose at that moment when it was supposed to have been met. And now that you have gained the knowledge, the understanding, the appreciation of whatever it is that they were supposed to do in your life at that time, you have to know that, hey, it's time for them to go. You can't experience what God has for you of something greater on the other side if you keep holding on to what wasn't meant to stay there. People come into our lives for a season and for a reason at times. When that time is up, you have to let go, break the chain. And we oftentimes don't want to because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But you have to remember that your life is not about you, even though it's your life. Even though it's your life is not even about you. Your life is about what God designed for you, what you were here and created to do. So your life is not about you, it's about Him and filling His purpose. And there are some of you that may ask, I'm not even connected with my purpose. I don't understand what my purpose is. I'm very connected with my purpose. And that will be a whole nother video of learning how to acknowledge what your purpose is and being able to fulfill that purpose. But I will give you just a hint for this one. When you ask yourself the question, what is my purpose, and you're not sure what it is, ask yourself, what is your passion? What drives you? What are you highly interested in? If money was no object, if money was no issue, what would be your driving force? You can then become closer connected with what your purpose is. Hey guys, I don't know about y'all. I don't know who needed this message, but this message was very enlightening to my spirit. And so I hope that it helps someone else. If you like the content in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like it, share it on your social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Help me promote my channel, y'all. Subscribe if you have not already to Miranda Heart to Heart. Until the next video, love yourselves and love each other. Take care. Bye.